Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my messy floor and my craft room. But I've been playing around with some junk journals, and today I just threw one together within a half hour to an hour, just playing around. But I wanted to, at least I will show you how I went about doing this, but I wanted to show you some other couple things I've been working on. I've been taking book pages, and let me just pan over here so I can do this with my camera now. I've been taking book pages and learning how to do simple little folds, simple little side pockets, simple little envelopes, and just practicing, and then really get more skilled at this folding stuff with pages without even tearing or, not making a mistake, which I will be making mistakes until I learn more of the ins and outs and the techniques of junk journaling. So this was one simple fold here, fold it in half, fold it up this way, so when the time comes where I either glue it or staple it or try to sew it together, I have two little pockets. So that was one version I was practicing with. Another version was this three-fold where you have a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, and I believe if you glue this in the corner, you'll have a fourth pocket. So it was like a three-fold or something fold, and then you had four pockets. So again, something to play with. I'm not rushing to doing any designing or embellishing on them, and just doing a lot of practicing in that. I also did this simple envelope. This one I embellished a little bit. I took some construction paper. I took a little bit of the tissue paper. I put a sequin on it. I cut out a word or two words, and then I just glued it onto this cover frame and made this simple paper journal. And inside I took another cover from another newsletter, and these were the free newsletters that I had shared with you when I went to the secondhand craft store. I just glued these two together. Now the only thing I didn't glue all the way was the side. So I have these little pockets here. I had one in the front and I had one in the back. And then here was the cover. Now this was a vase, and I thought it was pretty cool on the front of this newsletter. So that's why I made it the cover form of it. Then I had another signature set that I was throwing together. I didn't quite completed it, and I figured it was just small enough to fit in this little booklet. So I did the binding technique. I didn't make any marks. I just took the needle and just started putting holes in and just kind of eyeball it. Poked fingers a little bit with the needle, but until I get everything used to not putting my finger right where the needle's supposed to be at, I'll be in good shape. But anyway, I just eyeballed it, and then I just did the tie of right over left, left over right, right over left, just to secure it and not having, really tight for it to tear. So in the signatures here, I took one of those, let me see if I can reach it. Hold on. I took one of these pads. It was not this particular pad, but again, these were these free pads that, they offered at the shop. I cut it in half, and then I put it on construction paper. And this one says, in every ordinary day, there is a little bit of magic waiting to be discovered. And I think that's really a nice compliment for everybody to just look forward to experiment, to create, have that creativity going in the imagination. So I thought that was pretty cool. I had cut out the word life, and what I used was the scrapbooking paper that I found. So I'm just taking out different words. And then this was the bottom half of this little phrase up here. And then I just drew in the lines. Also, this is another part of the newsletter. This has where they had somebody did a sketching or the design for doing blackberries, whether it was for painting or whether it was for sewing or whatever they were doing at that time frame. But yeah, that was part of the artist's signature of that back then. And then again, just normal pages. This page here is just talking about standard yarn weights, just for a little bit of information. Again, I just threw some papers together. I haven't fully embellished anything yet. There's another one, a little bit more writing space. And then again, here's back talking about different advertisements. And then here's a little bit of design of that BlackBerry plate. So this is my little journal I did. And this is the sheet of paper. And if I can grab, so here. These are these newsletters, and this is volume 16, number 10. This came from October 1971. They have a lot of different interesting things in here, a lot of advertisements from back, back in that time frame of the 70s. Different pictures, different designing, advertisements. It talks about different areas of, where to go for things and all that. So that's what I did. I took the one cover, or that cover there, and then I used this book. It's this is for, I believe, a paper shredder. And being as stiff, the quality of the paper is stiff, I use this as a template to just fold in, just to get the shape I want. Fold it in, do my measurements, trim off what I need to trim off, and then did the same thing for the inside page, and then I glued everything together in that. So that was that stuff there. So this is where this all came into play. Okay. Other things I've been working on. These, this would you normally find this in your boxes with packaging, whether it's, I don't know, TV, if it's computer, whatever has a more round off but square edge that fits in a box. So I saved this, and I decided to make like a little notebook. Again, it's not perfect, but I took, again, more notepads, cut them down, trimmed them down to the size, and this worked in my fold. And then from one of the top of the notepads, I kept this and used that as the covering, and then construction paper on the back. I'm still trying to figure out the paper clip, the hidden paper clip idea and all that. So I am working on that. We'll get figured out and show you some designs when I get to it. Here's another one I just finished. I took an old piece of, let's see if I have another one. When you get these cards in books or through the mail and all that, I just took one I had, I folded it to the paper, and again have a little notebook and have a little bit of a map sequin on the back. So it's just something to play with. A couple sheets I was going to put in just for writing. These also came out of one of the pages of the newsletter, and I just took them, trimmed them down with the scissors, any scissors that I just grabbed, and put it on construction paper so they could be like little index cards. This was from a calendar from I think it was Gary Patterson. He's a comic strip artist, and I'm going to incorporate that, and then just some magazine pictures and all that. And here's another one. This came from a calendar. So I've been grabbing my stuff, odds and ends, getting ready to start doing a little bit of embellishing in this book here. In this one I still haven't put signatures in, so that's something to work on. And of course, the last one you've seen was this one here as well. So I'm working on pages, working on more signatures, working on more different designing of junk journals and that, until I can improve my skills. And it's going to take me a while because, again, this is something all new to me. I never did any kind of paper crafts growing up like this. So to me, I feel like a kid again, and, just playing around and figuring out stuff. Again, I'm also working on the tube to create other things, other pockets in that with paper, with both pages in that. So again, there's a lot of things I am working on and just doing the best I can with what materials I do have. So I'm going to be doing a lot of different embellishing. I'm not inking. I'm playing with the pastel chalk pencils. I have watercolor pencils, stuff like that. I got a lot of beads, sequins, metal items to glue and everything else. But I wanted to share with you on what I'm working on. One last thing, I just wanted to give an idea. I think by the time you see this video, I would already had started and shared the video on how I put this together. I was auditioning pieces and I just wanted to get into a slow stitching project. So again, like I said, I got 5-6 things going on at the same time, and I'm just alternating my time along with my part-time job. So yeah, I'm very busy, and I just love to keep working, stay focused, and this relaxes me and keeps me less stressful on daily life. So everyone, thank you for your time. I really am glad that you came to visit me today. I look forward to our next conversation. You have yourself a fabulous day. Take care now.